Welcome back to another riveting episode of Shields of Shame. In our previous installments, you were introduced to Nathanael Stiles and his dedicated crew. If you haven't had the chance to delve into the gripping GBI interviews yet, fear not. You can easily catch up by following the links provided in the playlist below. Today, our spotlight shines on the revealing video interview conducted by the Whitfield County Sheriff's Office with none other than Orlando Almon, the central figure in the disturbing assault on a jail inmate. It's crucial to spread the word about this issue, as Orlando, despite being a law enforcement officer, remains on probation with the Georgia Post Council. His troubling pattern of use of force incidents cannot be overlooked. Please take a moment to like and share this video. By shedding light on Orlando's actions, we're advocating for accountability and justice. Your support means everything. Thank you.
It's Tuesday, April 27th, 2021. Time is now 8:38 a.m. Special Agent Adam Jones, located at the Whitfield County Sheriff's Office, to conduct an interview with Sergeant Orlando Almon. Okay, so you work here at the Sheriff's Office. How long have you been here at the Sheriff's Office?
It will be 3 years in December of this year.
Okay. Any prior law enforcement?
I did DJJ for 3 years, and then corrections for 4 years at Hayes.
I saw your shirt. That's
No, has no relation.
Isn't that crazy though?
Yeah,
it
is.
So 4 years, was it GDC or
yeah,
DOC? They changed it back and forth there a while, several times. Okay, you were at Hayes Prison. All right. So, and you said that you went to patrol while you were here, so you're mandated. What year did you get mandated?
2019, September.
Okay. And you've worked primarily in detention.
Yes, sir.
Now, did you, like part of FTO when you had to go out on patrol, or did you try going out on patrol?
I went to patrol, and I was going to stay there, and then there was a sergeant says for in the back, so I figured I'd do that.
How long were you on patrol?
6 months total, 3 FTO and 3 by myself.
Okay. Tested for sergeant in the jail. Alright. So, let me ask you this. D shift, just that's 7P to 7A. 12 hours, 7 days a week. Okay. Being sergeant, do you get any days off during the week?
Normally, I don't take off anything unless I've got something planned.
Mm-hmm.
If I go to a training, I have to adjust, but aside from that, I normally don't take off anything. I try to let the people that work for me get what they want first
before you try, unless it's just something you gotta do. All right. Taking any medicines or anything like that?
I take medicines for
any sinus medicine, anything like that?
I do, but it doesn't help.
It doesn't help. Okay. But does it give you any adverse effects? Like some people makes drowsy, some people. What about any alcohol? Okay. You don't, no alcohol.
Not on my weeks.
Not while your week's working. Okay. And this is gonna sound really silly. Any weed, anything like that? Any enhancement drugs, steroids, anything like that. Okay. So you come to work, you're good, crisp, clear. So your shift, who consists of your shift?
It's myself, Nathan Stiles, Carly Redmond, and Tara Williams.
So your shift starts at some point in time, I'm guessing around 11. Aaron, how does Aaron Pass get to the jail?
He comes in, I can't remember what he was brought in on. I want to say it was alcohol and some other stuff, but the Dalton officer brings him in, and Officer Stiles goes out because we have a pre-screening that we have to do in the Sally Port. Officer Styles is out there doing that with the guy, so I think everything's fine. Styles comes in, he's still wearing his face shield. He's like, he's going to be a red mask. I'm like, okay. So
He's going to be a red mask. What does that
that means he potentially has or has been around somebody with. The reason we were going to segregate him was because when Styles is asking him his intake questions, he just shuts down and says, I don't know. Most of them do that. And so Styles is talking to him, and before the initial pat down, hey man, do you have anything on you that's going to poke me, stab me, hurt me, kill me, any drugs, anything like that? And he says, you'll find out in a minute. So as soon as he says you'll find out in a minute, I just step off the platform just to step off the platform. So, Styles starts his pat down, and then the guy just looks at me, and I'm literally not saying anything. He just looks at me and he's like, you shut up. And I'm like, I'm not saying anything. Mm-hmm. And he just continues. So Styles is patting him down, and I'm just there just in case he starts, getting more irate. So then he's like, hey man, take your mask down. And I'm like, no. I was like, you're not getting me in trouble. He's like, take your mask down. I'm like, no. So then, after a couple back and forths of that and some profanities towards the Lord and all this other stuff, he, blows me a kiss. And Styles thinks he spits on me, so he puts him up on the counter.
What did Styles say he thought he spit?
Yes.
Is this during the time?
Yes, this is during the time.
So he's like,
yeah,
don't spit on people.
Yeah.
What does Styles do that makes you think he...
Because he put him up there, and he's like, we don't spit on people.
Okay.
And I'm like, I don't, I didn't know that. So...
Yep.
We tell him, no sign because of the way he's acting, and we go to take him to the padded cell.
Now, how do you go to take him?
We just, grab his arms and escort him to the padded cell.
Now, is he restrained?
He is restrained.
Okay. Who had restrained him?
The officer that brought him in. The
officer.
Yes.
Okay.
So we go in there, and we tell him, go to your knees. He doesn't go to his knees. And see, normally it's the people that I work with that's doing the majority of the stuff. So we're on the same page of hey, if this doesn't work, we'll go to this. Well, we had another individual in there, which it's in there, so it's not like I'm diming anybody out. James Brown was in there. Mm-hmm. So me and Styles go to sweep him. He blocks the sweep. James Brown picks him up by his feet. He gets dumped, and he folds up a little bit, and Styles is telling him to stop moving. I don't know if he's moving because he just got dumped and folded in the way he did, and he's still resisting a little, not to the point where I should have did what I did. The next day when Lieutenant come in, I immediately, I told him myself, I don't want anybody telling me. I'll tell him myself if I do wrong. I told Lieutenant, I was like, yeah, I hit the guy. I was like, and Lieutenant's like, that's not that bad. I'm like, yeah, it's bad. I was like, I hit him while he was handcuffed. And Lieutenant's like, that's probably bad. Mm-hmm. And
now this is Lieutenant Pickett?
Yes,
okay.
Because my lieutenant wasn't there. McMillan wasn't
there. Guys, it's like Lieutenant is McMillan.
Yes, because anytime I mess up, I call a supervisor.
Best thing to do.
I mean,
go ahead and get it off. Don't let it fester.
I told him, I was like, hey man, I said, this is what happened. I said, I hit the guy. I was like about 9 times, and I watched the video and I counted to make sure I wasn't saying one thing and it not be the other. And when I asked Styles what had happened, or what he perceived to have happened, he didn't know that Brown had lifted him up. Mm-hmm. So he thought he was jumping towards us, and I'm like, well, neither here nor there.
Yeah. But Styles told you this after the fact?
Yes.
Okay.
So we, I hit him those times. We got the cuffs off of him. We left. I started my initial report. I gave Pass a little while to calm down, adrenaline to calm down. I went back in. I said, hey man, do you need to see medical? He didn't say anything to me. I said, so are you refusing medical? He didn't say anything to me. I said, okay. So we left him in there for a little while. And then, I think it's about 4 o'clock, 4 or so, we moved him into the holding tank 5. And, because he was just like, I want to lay down and all this other stuff. And I was like, okay. We put him in there, and then I asked him again. I said, hey, do you want to see medical? He never said anything. So.
But he was checked out by medical eventually.
He was checked out, yeah, because the Captain Lynch told me what he was gonna go ahead and preemptively do.
So, you've been doing this 3 years. This is my 17th year doing this, and something I've learned is if you're not there, I'm not one of those that watch something on TV and be like, my first response was, I wasn't there. I don't know what's going on, but you said you shouldn't have hit him 9 times. Is it because, and help me understand, because we're all human, were you amped up or?
No, and it wasn't, I guess after the first 2, if they weren't doing what they were supposed to, I should have just went to something else or just stopped altogether. But
what made you decide to hit him in the head? I mean, if you're angry, you're angry.
No,
I
wasn't angry. It was just, that was literally like, if you watch the video, and you know how like in certain moments you get tunnel vision, that was like the only part of the body, since he was folded, that I could like hit, grab, or whatever else.
What were you perceiving as, like, how was Pass a threat to you? How were you perceiving Pass at that time?
I wanted him to stop moving because Styles was saying he was moving. And I trust Styles because I've worked with him. I mean, you look at the majority of my use of force, Styles is there. I'm not saying Styles is, the, hey man, you should do this type person or anything. But like, I trust him with my life, even though I've only worked with him for a year.
How long have you been sergeant?
A year.
There you go. So
a year
his
here.
sergeant.
Yeah, a year here. I was a supervisor at the prison for 2 years.
So, and I don't like doing like hindsight. You've watched the video. You did the report now, and you've had to correct your report. Is that?
Yes,
all
sir.
right? And that was after speaking with the supervisor. They're like, hey, why did you yank his pants off?
Because he had another pair of pants on.
Okay.
And I was just taking them off just to make sure they didn't have anything in them.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, and I'm not here to beat you up. Just facts. I wasn't there.
I've already beat myself up. My wife's beat me up a little bit. And
so you talked to your wife about it?
Yeah.
What did you tell her?
I told her, I was like, it's like, I made a boo-boo.
Yeah. So, and this is just 2 guys talking here. I deal with people who mess up, and they will sit there right where you're at and give me the hardest freaking time. You know what I mean? So I appreciate you coming in here and, acknowledging that you messed up.
No, I mean, like, literally, anytime I mess up, like, if it's one of them I can call, if it's not, like, really late, I'll be like, hey, man, I've messed up a little bit,
And so just to explain, you said, I read your report, your final report, 9 times. You hit him in the head. It looked like hammer strikes, so.
It was just closed fist this side of the head.
Okay, and you're making contact?
Yeah.
Okay.
It wasn't good contact, obviously, but.
Okay. And so he was moving, was he moving on his own? Were other officers moving him?
No, what I can remember, he was moving on his own. I don't know if he was moving because Styles had hit him a couple times, or if he was moving because I hit him, and then I was just like, this ain't working, so I need to stop.
At some point in time, Styles gets the taser out.
Yes.
Okay. I'm familiar with the taser, and I'm familiar with arcing it just to show people, hey, keep up, I'm going to tase you. Been trained, just pull up, sit there and arc it, look at them. But I've never been trained to put it up by their head and do it. Is that something common?
He wasn't, like, Styles had asked him if he could understand, and he wasn't. I don't know if it's because I had hit him a couple times or what, So Styles just puts it to his ear, and he was like, hey, if you, or not like directly by his ear, but like by his head, and he was like, hey, if, you know, when these cuffs come off, if you do anything, he's like, I'll tase you. And he arced it.
So I'm not going to do this because I wasn't there. I'm not going to tell you what I would do or what your captain would do or your lieutenant would do. If you had it to do all over again, what would you do differently in this situation?
Not have Brown with us.
Well,
because the whole, I've never had, in all my taking people down, I've never had one just jerked up like that before. I'm not saying Brown was wrong. I appreciate him being there, but I think that, I'm not blaming it on that. I think that kind of just messed my rhythm up. Because normally we'll leg sweep, and if that won't work, we'll just kind of pick them up and set them down and then go from there. But I saw, before I got put on leave, I worked 2 days last week, and I saw how another sergeant did it. That inmate wasn't as he was mainly high, so he wasn't, you know, belligerent like this one was, but he told him to go in there, go on his knees, lean forward. He took the cuffs off. We walked out.
so speaking of pass, what was his condition? Was he, because he was talking to you at booking.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're saying he's belligerent, how is he being? I know what belligerent is, but you've got to define belligerent.
He was coming in and like, he was just passive aggressive towards Styles' questions.
Passive aggressive.
Hey, you know, do you have anything on you? You'll find out.
Okay.
You know, have you been around anybody that's had? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then like, once he said that you'll find out if you have anything on me, I just stepped down because it's, you know, me and one other female. So instead of, hey, go to the wolves, little, you know, young one, you know, I stepped down just in case it did go bad from him. So I stepped down, and I'm just standing there, and like Styles is talking to him, trying to get him to open up a little bit. He's not opening up. You know, he looks at me a couple times, tells me to, you know, F off, and I'm like, I'm not even doing anything, dude. And, you know, he's like, you know, after he blew the kiss or whatever, and Styles pushed him up against the thing, he said, what are y'all going to do, George Foreman me? And I'm like, this dude is not, like, something's not right with him.
So when y'all were getting him into the cell, you said you told him to get down.
Go to his knees.
How long before you telling him that to try attempting the leg sweep?
It's a couple seconds.
Okay. Couple as in 2?
It's about 3.
3 seconds. Does he acknowledge you? What does he do? What does his body language do? What does he say?
Nothing.
Nothing. So, okay. And he's still handcuffed behind his back. Okay. He remains handcuffed behind his back pretty much until y'all take the cuffs off.
Yes, sir.
Were there any calls from the Dalton PD officer? Like, I know sometimes if they've got an unruly person, they'll call the jail ahead and be like, hey.
Sometimes they will. Sometimes we find out when they get here.
Well, how about with pass? Do you remember getting any call?
I do not know. If I did, it would have been in my report. Because normally when I try to write a report, I try to write like, you know, the central control tech called or dispatch called. So I can't really remember.
All right. So let me ask you this: with pass, was he, in your experience, have you dealt with intoxicated people a lot? You just high.
Yes.
I'm sure being brought into booking. Did he appear to be under the influence of anything?
Of alcohol, at least.
Okay. And what makes you say that?
Just how, like, his eyes, they weren't like really, really glossy, but they were glossy.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, because sometimes Dalton will bring people in on stuff, but they won't charge them all the time.
It's strange. I know.
Hey man, we have found drugs on a person during the intake process, and we're like, hey, we found this, and like we've literally had a Dalton officer look at us and be like, well, I'm gonna have to call my supervisor to see what I can do. And I'm like, they brought drugs in across the guard line. Are you not gonna? Like, I'll just take them with me and I'll talk to my supervisor, and I'm like, I don't know how that works, but okay.
Gotcha.
I mean, we've had several people, like, it's happened several times, and I'm just like,
And I meant to ask you earlier, you go by Orlando?
that's fine, yeah.
What do people call you? What do you,
Here they call me that.
they call you Orlando here?
Yeah.
What do they call you outside? Just curious. Man.
Just Lee.
They call you Lee. You go by your middle name.
Yeah, I go by my middle
No, I could have called you Lee. I'm sitting here calling you.
No, it's fine, man.
So, Lee, I'm going to go get me some coffee and look at my other set of notes I got out here. Do you need any water, bathroom break, coffee, anything like that?
No, sir.
Okay. I'll be right back. Take me just a second. All right. Just a couple follow-up questions, and we'll watch video and get going. All right. So, after all this happened, who all have you talked to about this incident?
Like that works here?
Well, just, yeah, anybody law enforcement related.
Lieutenant, Captain, the
So
other
Lieutenant
Lieutenant
Picton, Captain
Lynch, and Lieutenant McMillan, that is.
Okay. But did you talk to him about it?
No.
Okay, so other than closed fist, did you use any other type of force?
No, sir.
Okay. Just the escort, which is common in my experience.
Yes, sir.
So you did your report. Supervisor kicked it back and had you edit it, or not edit it, revise it. And pass was handcuffed behind his back,
Yes, sir.
double lock,
Yes, sir.
chained or hinged, do you remember?
I honestly do not know.
Okay. Have you
I
had...
think they may have been hinged.
May have been hinged, but you don't know for sure.
I do
If you
not.
don't know... Just,
I do not know for sure.
Okay. So working in the jail is very unique. Have there been any... I know you're going to have use of force reports. That comes with the territory. Have you had any that have risen to this level, like have been questioned or, hey, whoa, anything like that? All right. After all this happened, did you and Styles watch the video together?
Yes.
Okay. And you accessed that through your computer
Yes.
in the back? Okay. What was the conversation going on with that?
There really wasn't one.
Did Sergeant Brown come and talk to you after the incident? He didn't? He didn't come up and confront you about the...
No, I mean, I talked to him about it, and he was like, yeah, you probably shouldn't have did that. But aside from that, there was no...
But after the fact, y'all did talk, and he
Yes.
told you probably shouldn't have done that. Okay.
Yeah. Which it was about 5 minutes after I did it, and I watched the video, I was like, I probably shouldn't have did that. So I already knew that I shouldn't have did it, and then...
And granted, I'm not there.
Yeah.
So I'm going by what you said. I appreciate you being truthful with me. I'm going to watch the video, and I just kind of want you, and listen, not the best quality. And it's not because of the video. It's because of the thing playing it. It might freeze up. But I want you to kind of just walk me. I'm going to try and pause it in between, so bear with it. There might be a little lag. So, all right, what's going on here, and who is that? Who's this?
So that's Styles, me, Pass, and then you got Brown coming along.
All right, and where is this at?
That's the booking padded cell.
So if you got the little booking box on both sides, there's the entrance to the sally port, and if memory serves, the padded cells are right to the left or to the right if you come in
Yes,
from the
sir.
sally port.
Yes, sir.
This is the one to the left, I'm assuming?
If you're on the platform, it's to the right.
Right, correct. But if you're
Yes.
coming in the sally port, you would be the first entrance.
Yes,
and
it
then
would
on
be
the
the
left.
first entrance.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, is anything going on right here? Is there any talking or...
No.
No talking?
No,
Okay.
just escort.
All right.
And then there's talking, like as soon as we cross the threshold, hey man, as soon as we get in here, go to your knees.
Okay, does he respond?
No.
Pass does not?
Does not say anything.
All right. So that was an attempted leg sweep
Yeah,
that happened
attempted
pretty
leg, yeah.
pretty fast. Okay. All right. He's on the ground. That's his head. That's his butt.
Yeah.
All right. And then I can't say Styles because that's Brown, and then that's you still.
Yep.
So I see Styles' elbow going up. The other angle, he's punching him. Does he say, is Styles saying anything during that time?
He's saying stop.
Styles is saying stop?
Yes, sir. He's saying stop.
Is Pass saying anything?
He's not saying anything.
Okay.
Pretty much when we told him we were taking him in there, the only thing he said in between there was he's like, you can come in here with me. And I'm like, nah, it doesn't work like that.
Oh, coming in at the...
Yeah. He's like, you can come to the padded cell with me. I'm like, no, it don't work like that.
So he just took a liking to you, or what's going on there?
I don't know. I mean, he did try to blow me a kiss, so, I mean, he...
All right. So, at this point, that's the...
Yeah.
All right. And you're saying shouldn't have done that. Is he doing... There's different types of resistance, and I'm not going to get into all the... Because there was just physical, there was like passive resistance. That's pretty much like, hey, get on the ground. No. Passive. What's going on with him at this time?
It's a combination of passive and like... I said he was moving, but I don't know if that was because of Styles' actions.
But at the time, what did you perceive at the time? After the fact, I don't care about. During the time,
he was moving.
He was moving in your mind. Okay, but he's still handcuffed.
Yes.
Okay.
So not really that big of a threat, which is why, you know.
So Styles that looked like a lunging knee. Okay. What was going on with Styles when he did that?
I honestly do not know.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Earlier you mentioned tunnel vision. What is tunnel vision to you?
Just focused in on one thing.
Okay.
And my focus was directed at Pass. And I'm surprised I saw the radio.
Okay.
I'm really surprised I saw the radio come off.
And that was Styles?
Styles' radio.
Okay. Now this is his head still right here. And then Brown is on his on Pass's legs, correct?
Yes, sir.
Styles is at the back side. It's kind of hard to tell. Now there's the taser. He arcs it right by his face, it looks like right there. But he never tases him, as you're aware of.
No, he does not tase him at all.
Okay. Now, looked like you were saying something at that time. Do you remember saying anything?
I told him that...
You're talking about Pass.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I told him that, you know, we were going to take the cuffs off of him. If he did anything that we perceived to be a threat or that he shouldn't do, he'd probably get tased.
Mm-hmm. So at that point, when you had hit, punched, was he a danger? Was Pass a danger to anybody in there?
No.
Okay. And he was and at the time, you thought he was moving. He wasn't saying anything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So we had to flip him over to get the handcuffs off of him because of how he had landed. They
Okay.
were like down by his...
Still behind him, but underneath his...
Yeah.
I call it the haunches right here. Is that accurate?
Yes, sir.
Did he have shoes on at that time, or did y'all taking them off?
No,
already?
they had come off
in booking. Made them put them on the counter, I'm assuming. He doesn't say, Pass is not saying anything during this time. Mm-hmm. Now, with all that going on, you said that a nurse had eventually checked on him.
Yes.
You checked on him.
I checked on him maybe 10 or 15 minutes later. I opened the door and I said, hey, I said, do you need medical? He didn't say anything. I said, no, fuck me, anything, go to hell, anything.
Didn't say anything. No response.
Nothing.
Okay.
So, okay. So then I leave. You know, I go finish my report to make sure I include that I asked him about medical.
Mm-hmm.
And then nothing. So later on, he starts getting up and moving around, and I'm like, he should be calm. I said, I'm good. I said, you know, no hard feelings. I was like, if he had to spit at me, you know, I don't hold grudges. So I go and I talk to him, and I said, hey, I said, do you need anything? He said, I need a bathroom. He was like, and it's cold in here. I said, okay. I said, if you give me a couple minutes, I said, I'll move you to a holding tank that it's a little bit better. I said, I'll give you a mat. You can lay down. You know, I set the mat up. I get him. I escort him from there to the other cell. He sits down. I ended up feeding him breakfast. I said, do you need medical? You know, I asked him again. He said no. Mm-hmm. I said, okay. thing that he really, and it wasn't even that day, it was the next night when I come back to work, the only thing he asked me, he was like, hey, did my money get put on my books?
So just being straightforward with you, what we normally do with this is we're going to meet with the district attorney. Once we gather everything, I'm still in the fact-finding, gathering stage, and that takes a couple of days. But we'll present the facts to them, and we'll make a determination. You know, like I said, we'll just do a criminal aspect of it. If you don't have any questions for me, I'm going to get out of here. Sergeant Jones and Rivera, they talk to you for a minute. Okay? All right, take a seat. Shouldn't be but just a second. Follow-up, still criminal investigation, not administrative. All that. Look at the time. 7. All right. So I went and I've done some more interviews, asked some more questions, talked to some more people, looked at some more stuff. So walk me through the whole process with Mr. Pass being booked in and everything that went on.
We didn't book him in.
What the process that he was brought to the jail.
So he gets brought in by the Dalton officer, and Officer Stiles was out there doing his COVID questionnaire. So when Stiles comes in, he still has his face shield on, and he says he's going to be a red mask, which means he's got, maybe not he has COVID, but he's saying he's not answering the questions where we can clear him to get in the back. And on his sheet, he had wrote, I don't know, which is what Pass's responses were to some of the questions. So he's getting aggravated with Stiles while he's down there, and Stiles asks him, you know, do you have anything in your pockets that's going to poke me, harm me, or anything of that nature? And he said, you'll find out. And at that time, when he said that, I just stepped down off the platform just in case Stiles needed somebody or found something that could be used as a weapon or anything that he wasn't supposed to have. So he started telling me to shut the F up, which I'm not even saying anything. He's just like, shut the F up, and I'm like, okay. And he keeps telling me to take my mask down because I'm wearing a face covering, because we're supposed to do that anytime we're around inmates or whatever. I tell him no, and he blows like a kiss at me or whatever, and Stiles like he spits on me, and he pushes him up on the counter, and then we go ahead and do a no sign on his property since he's acting like that, and then we take him into the padded cell. And then, sorry. And then when we're in the padded cell, Officer Stiles attempted to perform a leg sweep that's unsuccessful. Sergeant Brown, unknowns to us at the time, had grabbed his legs and went to pick him up, and he was dumped on his, his back and kind of part of his head, and Officer Stiles hit him a couple times that I'm aware of prior to reviewing the film, and then I hit him 9 times in the side of the head.
Okay. Now, as far as verbal commands, and remember, best thing, tell me the truth, was Pass given verbal command to get on the ground?
Yes.
Okay. What if I were to tell you 2 of the 3 people in that room said that they did not hear verbal commands to get on the ground, or to kneel down, or lay on the ground, or anything like that? Would that be accurate?
I always tell them.
But did you that time?
I'm about 99% sure I did.
Okay. All right.
I always tell them, and I always try to give people opportunity to do, you know, because I don't...
And there again, I wasn't there. But when I have 2 people, you know what I'm saying, say, nope, no verbal commands. And then something to follow up with. So we got to the punch and shut it down. Nothing deserved, passing anything deserved being punched. I'm not going to beat you up on that. You came back to check on Pass for medical.
Yes,
Ask
sir.
him about medical.
Yes, sir.
Well, exactly what was said to Pass. I understand Pass didn't say anything.
He didn't say anything. I said, do you need to see medical? He said, he just looked at me. I said, no, you, no, nothing. I said, you don't want to say anything to me? And he didn't say anything to me. I said, okay. And I just shut the door and walked off.
Did you maybe say, no, you don't need medical, you done that, or anything like that?
No, sir.
Okay.
I'd tell you if I said no.
No? Okay. So let me ask you, female booking officer, I think it's Redmond.
Yes, sir.
Was she saying anything to Pass when he came in that could have maybe agitated him? She's not picking at him,
No, sir.
saying nothing like that? Okay. Uh, so nothing that would be considered rude, snappy, nothing like that?
No, sir.
So after the fact, we know Brown talked to you. We know you looked at the video. Did you and Styles talk to each other as far as kind of the situation and how bad it looked like?
No. I mean, I knew it looked bad. I don't know if he knew it looked bad. I knew it looked bad.
Yeah. So at any point in time, did y'all talk together as far as trying to corroborate a story and make sure you're on the same page? And I'm not talking about writing your report. That's
No.
what you're supposed to do. Any messages about the incident being sent to each other?
I sent him the video. He just wanted the video. Aside from that, no.
When did he want the video?
It was that night.
Did he say why he wanted the video?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But aside from that, there was no cooperation or anything like that. No.
Okay. So, trying to find where it's here. I think I had one more question. So, the nurse or medical person, did they check pass out on your shift or on Sergeant Curtis's?
It would have been Sergeant Curtis's.
Okay, so no medical. You asked for medical, y'all monitored pass, but nothing like that.
Yes, sir.
Now, at any point in time, did you notice any bumps or lumps on Pass's head after the incident?
No, sir.
Okay. And as far as the comment, yeah, you don't need to see them, you stupid MFer. You didn't make that comment.
No, sir.
Okay. And everything you told me has been 100% accurate, nothing omitted, nothing twisted a little bit, no collusion between you and Styles as far as what happened and everything.
No, sir.
Okay. Have you ever had to take a polygraph test before?
When I got hired here.
Other than employment?
No, sir.
No, sir. How, with everything that you've provided with me, would you pass a polygraph or fail a polygraph? And that includes omissions. So if you know something you haven't told me, that's the same as lying. So
No, sir.
polygraph picks up on that just the same. Would you pass?
I should pass. I should. I mean, I should. I don't know why I wouldn't.
Okay. Why did you answer should? You know what I'm saying? That's a yes or no. That's
Yes.
We kind of use that as a
Yes.
test question. You would pass, 100%. Okay. And so here's the kind of the feeling that I'm getting. So I've done y'all's job before. I actually
Yes,
worked
sir.
here. I don't know if you knew that.
Yes, sir. I know who you are.
So, is it possible? Like, I'm just trying to wrap my head around everything. And you got people telling variations of stories, which is common.
Understand.
But so I was told that Mr. Pass was talked to and that he didn't remember anything. Well, I found Mr. Pass and he remembers actually everything to the point of he said he acknowledges, some of the comments I made, I was trying to lighten the mood, but they were not taken that way, and it went kind of downhill from there in the booking area. And something about the whole George Foreman and no, it's George Floyd type comment.
Yeah.
He was like, that was wrong, off color, shouldn't have said it. Is there anything that happened from him being escorted to booking to there that kind of got anybody amped up? Is he saying anything?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. And everything's 100% factual. Nothing you need to change. Nothing you like to add. Anything like that. But your final statement, nothing. Okay. Do you have any questions for me? All right. So, I'm going to step out for just a second, just like last time. I'll be right back and get you on your way. All right. I appreciate you coming in and talking to me.
No problem. I mean, I'll come back. I hope I don't have to come
Hope you
back.
don't have to.
But
No,
if I will. I mean, I'm trying to cooperate to the best.
Mm-hmm.
The best, whatever y'all need.
All right. Sit tight.